my old buddy Ron Newt.
Yeah,
Prince
Ron
Diamond.
Newt.
How did you hook up with Prince Diamond, man?
Oh man, I actually met him around the same time that I met your friend Gangster Brown. Right? Small world, right? So what happened was at the time, this was right when I was launching VladTV. I ended up doing an episode of American Gangster on BET.
Okay.
I produced the Mac Dre episode of American Gangster. So that was what I consider one of my best pieces of work. Right? And it did so well that we were preparing for the next season of American Gangster, and this is the story that I brought to them. My man Stretch introduced me to him.
Not the Stretch with the Tupac thing? That Stretch?
No.
Okay.
No. Stretch, he manages a bunch of artists and so forth, right? Bay Area guy. So he brought me, to Ron Newt, and I remember we hung out, and Ron just was telling these incredible stories that didn't sound believable, but then he starts pulling out pictures. He's like, oh, I used to hang out at Michael Jackson's house. I'm like, yeah, right. Here's a picture of me and Michael Jackson. Here's me wearing Michael Jackson's glove. Here's me hanging out with Michael Jackson's monkey. Like, it's like the whole thing is crazy, right?
No, Ron was in the movie The Mac. He was like in the crowd.
Yeah, exactly. No, Ron, and his son is Jay Valentine, right? And he told me the whole story. So I was like, oh shit. Next season, I'm going to do the Ron Newt episode of American Gangster, but then American Gangster got canceled.
Oh, okay. That was Irv Gotti's thing, right? Was that Irv?
No. This was before Irv Gotti. This was straight BT. Who was the executive producer? Oh, I forgot. I really kind of mad at myself. A legendary, New York journalist was sort of behind this whole thing. So, that got scrapped. So BT didn't do American Gangster the next season. It got brought back years later as a different kind of situation. So, he was always sort of someone I wanted to interview. Then at one point, I think BT or someone was doing like a documentary on him or like a reality show or something. So you want to do some interviews, and they reached back out to me. So I went out to his house, he got on his throne and everything else like that. And I got to do the whole interview, and then he got to pull out the pictures and kind of do everything that we originally were supposed to do for American Gangster. And then unfortunately he passed a while afterwards. But that's actually how I hooked up with him.
Okay.
He's a very, very interesting guy.
He really is.
Yeah.
Really is. Were you in radio in New York at all?
No.
You never did radio in New York. But did you ever do radio at all?
I did Sirius XM. I think before it was actually Sirius XM when it was just Sirius, I think. And I had like a radio show that I kind of mailed in, but it's something I always wanted to do, but it just never really happened. In retrospect, I think it's probably a good thing that I never really got into the whole radio thing, because it kind of forced me to be independent.
Yeah. One last question, Vlad. What do you want people to remember? What do you want the DJ Vlad legacy to be?
Yeah. I think that I really documented the lives of a lot of really important people of this era. A lot of people did their only interview with me, did their last interview. People like John Witherspoon, his last interview, the only life story piece he's ever done was with me. A lot of people, they don't get documentaries about their lives, right? Some people do, but 99% of people, even in Hollywood, do not. And I feel like I've learned the skill to let people tell their story and really tell a full story from, okay, this is how, I grew up. This is what my family was like. This is how the early stages of my career formulated. These are my ups. These are my downs. These are my successes. These are my failures. And this is where I am right now. And especially with people that I just admire myself. Before I even thought about doing VladTV or thought about being a DJ or whatever else, I was a fan. I was a fan of music. I was a fan of movies. I was a fan of culture. So to sit down with like a Smokey Robinson.
And great interview too. That was real good.
Thank you. Thank you. It was like, wow, this person is living history right now. He was around when Motown was formed.
Yes.
Like I would love to do Berry Gordy, but I may not get to do Berry Gordy. But I got to do Smokey Robinson, who was right there when it all happened. When Michael Jackson auditioned, he was there. When Stevie Wonder came around, he was there. Marvin Gaye, him and were rocking together and had a close relationship, and he really got to see everything that happened. Diana Ross, like all this monumental music that's still like important today, here's how it actually happened. And to be able to sit down with that person and ask them whatever I want and really get this incredible story is something that's timeless. That's timeless. When you and I aren't around, I think people are still going to watch this
How did
interview.
you hook up with Smokey? That was real random.
It was, I mean, people constantly pitch interviews to us. It's like, you know, we deal with publicists, we deal with, you know, brokers that kind of get paid to set up these interviews. I have people like Evan, my assistant, that reach out to people. We see what other interviews they're doing. There's like a million different ways. People email us, people's cousins email us. Oh, you know, my cousin, you know, wants to do something, whatever else. You know, and it's like, you know, to really sit down with someone. And when I get the occasional email say, hey, listen, like, I just got my PhD and your interviews were sort of the basis of a lot of my thesis and everything else like that, or kids who do school reports and they use my interviews as a basis. You know, yes, like sometimes what I do is what me and you do, which is more of a current events kind of thing where we go through things that are happening. But usually when I sit down with someone for the first time, it's just like when I sat down with you for the first time, I kind of get that person's life story. And that's sort of what I try to do in the very beginning. And that's what I hope that I'm remembered for. You know, at the end of the day, you don't know how you're going to be remembered. But I feel that, I mean, VladTV started in 2008. I never stopped. I never took a year off. I never took a break. Like, I've been putting out content every year, 365 days a year, nonstop, because I feel like I'm on a mission to really create this body of work. And I feel like in hip hop, I think very few people have a body of work like mine. Now, there are people like Sway that have been around longer, people like Big Boy that have been around longer, but I feel like the body, you know, the amount of content I put out and so forth, I feel stands right up there with all of them. So that's what I want to be remembered by. And, you know, I hope that I am remembered fondly, and I hope that my kids could, you know, benefit from what I put into this world. And hopefully VladTV will continue even when I'm gone.
Here it is.
Yes, sir.